because I know for myself, it was very much projected that if you're going to be a leader, if you're going to own a business, if you're going to be in business, you have to have that level of independence that shows your strength. And what I'm looking at is, what if everything we've ever been told about this, we found out was a lie?
For me, asking for help was a no-go. I mean, if I asked for help and you pay me to do a thing, I lose my value, I show weakness. And yes, in a child's book, it's a nice story for a kid, but this is real life now. When you live your entire life thinking this is what makes you successful, this is how you can do it, and then you find out, oh my God, there's such an easier way available, such a kind way of co-creation. It literally turned my universe around. I was like, wow, whoa.
Welcome to the Choice, Change and Action podcast, where you get to choose, change and take action to create a different today and a different future. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Choice, Change and Action podcast. So you are with me, your host, and today we have one of my favorite people in the world who has been on my podcast quite a few times now. Welcome, David Kubes.
Thank you, Simone, for inviting me here over and over again. I so enjoy these podcasts with you, so thank you.
Well, actually, we had a lot of really great feedback from the podcast that I did with you and Megan Hill a few weeks ago on You're Not As Fucked Up As You Think You Are, basically. And we want to do one on money based on that. So we will in the future. Megan is not feeling too great today, so we're going to do something else today. We're going to talk about business, which is one of mine and David's favorite topics. So I'm at El Lugar at the moment, and David was just here. It's so friggin' amazing. It's so beautiful. David you're in Vienna, Austria right now?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, great. So let me ask you a first question, because there's a few things I think we want to have a look at here. And one of the things I would like people to get to is, it's not wrong, it's not bad, it's not weak, it's not terrible, it's not, you're not less than if you are asking for help. One of my favorite, books ever is called The Boy, the Fox, the Mole and the Horse. Have you ever read it or watched the animated?
No.
Oh, you please, can you
just
do
the
it?
one section with the horse that you sent me, but I haven't watched the full one.
You need to download it and watch it, okay? It's one of the most, it's like 32 minutes animated, okay? It's so beautiful. But this part in the animated, film or the book, the boy says to the horse, "What is the bravest thing you've ever done?" And the horse says, "Ask for help." And this is not verbatim. I can't remember the rest of it, but the way he says, asking for help is not a sign of weakness. It's like a sign of strength. And I think a lot of people in business do this, I guess this autonomous reality of you have to do it in yourself. You have to be independent. And I actually looked up, what does autonomous mean? And autonomous, in the dictionary, it says that it's being independent, it's self-governing, it's subject to its own laws and pertaining to an autonomy or a self-governing community. And it's one of the things that we've been talking about in Access Consciousness recently, came up in a certified facilitators class here in El Lugar. And when you are doing autonomy in business, rather than the willingness to receive and the willingness to, contribute and collaborate, and so much more is possible when you're not functioning from that. And I want to ask you, start off with this, David, is because I know for myself, it was very much projected that if you're going to be a leader, if you're going to own a business, if you're going to be in business, you have to have that level of independence that shows your strength. And what I'm looking at is, what if everything we've ever been told about this, we found out was a lie? Okay. So my first question to you is, what was that like for you entering into the business world? Was that the same or different, or where did you start off with?
Well, literally, this is what I was told from the very beginning. When after graduating from high school, the choice you literally had is you become an employee, so you will never be independent, or the big freedom in life is you gain that when you run your own business, and then you are independent and nobody can tell you what to do. Then you are free. So this is literally what I was told. You have to become independent. If you don't want to depend on anyone else, or if you like your freedom, embrace your creativity, be yourself, all of that was automatically associated with independence and being and autonomy, which in my world led to the fact, okay, I have to do it on my own. I am the one delivering the results, because otherwise nobody would pay me. So for me, asking for help was a no-go. I mean, if I ask for help and you pay me to do a thing, I lose my value. I show weakness. And yes, in a child's book, it's a nice story for a kid, but this is real life now.
I love you. Yes, Simone, listening to that story you like to tell, but come on, when it comes down to the real business
my little
world.
niece, she's still a child, but this is real life, and you can't show weakness, because you'll never get clients and nobody will buy your product, and you literally you won't be an added value. So if you work for someone, if you run your own business, you need to add value, so you are literally allowed to receive money. This is what they pay you for. That was how I grew up, and this is what they train you at university. And no matter where you do an internship, this is what's trained. You need to be independent. Don't ask for help. Find a solution and deliver result, because that's also the difference in a legal definition. You know, as an employee, you're not liable, you're not being paid for result, you're being paid for your time that you dedicate. But as a contractor, and that's the legal definition, you're being paid for the delivered result. So that autonomy conversation and not asking for help is the absolute opposite of what we learn now in school, at business school, in business. And honestly, it's such a big topic, because when you live your entire life thinking this is what makes you successful, this is how you can do it, and then you find out, oh my God, there's such an easier way available, such a kind way of co-creation. It literally turned my universe around. I was like, wow, what is this? This is too beautiful to be true. That's the first thing.
And it's interesting. Sorry. Yeah, it's interesting because you've mentioned a couple of things there, and about how, you know, we are so ingrained and it's so projected at us, and energetically projected and verbally as well, that, like you said, to have our freedom, we have to have our independence. And as I was mentioning before, what if we've misidentified that? What if everything we found out was a lie? Because everything you're talking about as well is when you are functioning from autonomy, like having an autonomous reality, going, no, I'm independent. I don't need to ask for help. I'm capable of doing everything, etc. Now, I just want to say, it doesn't mean that you're taking away your capacities. What you're actually doing is increasing your capacities. So if you're trying to prove your independence and prove that you have this freedom and functioning from an autonomous reality, you literally stop receiving, and you will create limitations and you will create a roadblock. So I want to give like a bit of an example here. If you are in a business, or like if you own a business, or if you working with somebody, whatever situation you're in, whatever you're currently doing that's earning you money, right? And I want you to have a look at every single person that you work with, and I want you to engage in that energy of, I'm now independent. I know what my job is. This is my job. This is what I do. I actually don't have to do anything else, but I'm getting paid to do X, Y, Z. I will make sure I do a good job with this, you know, and basically a lot of people will do the least amount in order to still get paid, etc. Right? You have capacities. You maybe might not have actually acknowledged what you're great at, but maybe if you could start doing that now. But every person you work with, and you start to look at all of those people, and everyone's got their own individual job. Now I want you to have a look at it and relax. And I'm going to say, like, push down your barriers. And if you go, how do I do that? just breathe for a second. Take a moment, breathe, and be willing. If you're willing to lose everything, okay, this job that you currently have, this business that you currently have, and if you're willing to lose everything and you literally just push down your barriers. Now, this is for all you control freaks out there. It's the place where you actually have to be willing to let go of control. And I want you to start looking at all the people that you work with, and everywhere that you've decided maybe they're an idiot, they're not as smart, or they can't do a job as good as you, or whatever judgment you have. Destroy and uncreate that judgment, times a gazillion, right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, perverts, and beyonds, because judgment is not real. And there is usually something that you are not willing to receive. And as I said before, if you're functioning from an autonomous reality, you literally stop receiving. Now, I want you to, engage in with all these people and put your energy on them and just ask the question of like, okay, what are their capacities that I haven't been willing to receive? And if you're willing to engage with everybody and connect with everybody that you work with and allow those capacities to show up, that is when the magic shows up. Your capacities are what is magic. Everybody else's capacities is what is magic. That is when the magic and the miracles show up and everything gets easier. There is such a sense of relaxation with your business, with your clients, with revenue streams, with money flows, with all of it, because you are willing to receive so much more. You listen more, you hear the whispers, you know when to engage, where to engage, who to call, what next in a project, etc. And that is not something that we've been empowered to choose. It is something that has never been an option if you're functioning from an autonomous reality.
So true. And this, looking just at the energy, when you function from I am responsible for the result, I have to do this on my own, the amount of energy that people would like to contribute, people like to help and assist. And what I found out, you don't give up your independence, you actually increase it. Because when you are not the only one being responsible for everything, the amount of freedom you gain when you finally let people in and allow yourself to receive the contribution, knowing I don't have to do it on my own. It allowed me to look, wow, what do I like to do, and where can I literally receive contribution? And I saw it in other people. They were so grateful that I allowed them to contribute because they want to. I always thought everybody is like me, and this is annoying for someone else as well. This is difficult. This is it just drains you out. In the last week, finding out that no, for you this might be boring. For me, I love it. So it allowed other people to show their talents and me to truly be more independent, not from exclusion, from free. So
do you have an example that you could talk about?
Yes, I can. I actually, in my law firm, there is a difficult situation going on because my business partner, he got screwed over by a big client. And there was a situation where everyone thought, okay, we need to handle this. We have to do it on our own. I'm talking about we as the law firm. And I started going, wait a minute, what if we ask other people for help? What if we did this together? Because everybody knew there was a big thing going on. But instead of going into the wrongness of what went wrong, I literally said, hey, who can help us here? And people started to show up. They said, wait, I love to do this. This is actually my talent. This is what I like to do. Just opening that door of going, okay, I am not responsible for this, and who can help me? And asking everyone involved, it turned the energy around into, let's do this, let's move on, rather than we have to fix it. The energetics that you create, the energy you create, okay, let's move on. It's kind of, I always remember when my aunt, she was 99 years old when she died a few years ago, and she was one of the, World War I generation. She was 22 when World War II was over. And she always said that people were, she said the happiness in people's eyes when they started rebuilding the cities, when they started she said there was no wrongness. They did that together. They had that sense of, let's do this. And I sense, like I could sense that you're not alone. And that is such a big energetic support, knowing you're not alone. It takes so much weight off of your shoulders. And it created that freedom of, okay, and if I can't do it, I ask someone. I don't have to do it. My talents or things that I'm good at or that I really enjoy is this, this, and this. And yes, sometimes you have to do things that you don't enjoy. And that's the area when you open up, you don't get frustrated by forcing yourself through. You actually receive the contribution of someone else. And what is maybe annoying or draining you out is probably something really fun for someone else. And that could show up the minute I changed my point of view from I have to fix this into, well, let's handle this together. Let's move on. Let's keep going. That's it. That's such a generative energy. Is let's keep going. Let's move on.
Yeah. And I think it's also, I think we've got to, keep in mind that it's not like the exact opposite now, that it's like, okay, everything you're doing, you need to ask for help and you need to include everyone and we can hold hands and sing Kumbaya. It's not that. That's not what we're talking about. It's like, we're talking about anywhere that you are functioning from the rightness of your point of view. You have to control the situation. You've decided that nobody else is capable of something. That's the autonomous reality. So if you're functioning from the autonomous reality that it's like, oh, there is nothing else possible except for what you're aware of, that's when you trap yourself, and that's when you create judgment. That's when you create limitations. So it's not like everything you're doing, it's like, oh no, now I have to live in a community and we all have to, like I said, sing Kumbaya and ask for help all the time. It's the ability to receive more, and also the ability to know when you're good. And it's like being a leader in your own life, being a leader in your business, etc., knowing what it is that you desire in the world is also reaching out there for yourself to ask for greater each and every day. Like I'm not waiting for somebody else to desire what I desire. I'm waking up every day going, okay, so now what next? What next? What next? And as I reach, I see others reach too. Like someone said to me today, Simone, you've got such an ability to invite people to a joy of living. Because I keep taking people out horse riding here, and it's great, and we have so much fun, and they're like, that's amazing, and I'm like, okay, good, but I'm just choosing to horse ride, but I don't need to horse ride on my own. Yes, I'm with my horse, but if you want to come. And it's like, it's fine, but you're on your horse and you get to choose something as well. And as for me, it's like, as I choose, would you like to choose too? And if you don't, that's okay. It doesn't have to be this like all in thing. But I really want to reiterate that David and I both talking about, what if you had the capacity to ask for help when you are surrounded by amazing, capable people. Like when I look at, in the past couple of weeks, as I said, we had certified facilitator training here in El Lugar. Then we had a class called Benevolent Capitalism with myself, Gary, Douglas, and Dane here. And it was incredible. And there were so many staff in the class, and looking around just going, oh my goodness, these people, these beings are amazing. And seeing how they have chosen to go, oh no, I'm in charge of this. So I'm in charge of this and I can't ask for help. I've got to prove my value. And the second you're trying to prove your value, you actually have less value. Like really, it's like, and seeing all these people, and it's like, wow, watching it sort of become so malleable and have this fluidity of going together. So you're like, oh, here. And then allowing yourself, again, I'm going to mention that when you're functioning from autonomy, you cannot receive. So allowing yourself to receive, allowing the project to receive, allowing your business to receive, there is infinite possibilities available. Profit is how much living you can create when you are willing to create a bigger life. Please join my latest and very low-cost membership with me, Simone Milasas, at the Profit Club. SimoneMilasas.com/profit. Profit Club?
And allowing to receive opens up the door for more possibilities. It allows the energy to flow. It allows for this moving on energy. If you function from autonomy, I always thought, okay, yes, I did ask for help, but the ultimate responsible was me. Then I received the help, and then I had to deliver it on, which was just probably light autonomy. And of course, control, because I always thought that I am responsible for this, therefore I have to. And that responsible, I think, what does it mean to be responsible? We have to respond fast, but you don't have to be the one. For me, it also is not finding a common denominator. We don't have to agree on everything. No, where is your talent? What can you contribute? And how can we move this on and create something greater? I mean, that's the beautiful energy of it. You could do it alone, but what else is possible, contributed, and what greater possibilities are available if we received the talent and the uniqueness and the creativity of everyone without these responsibilities or departments of this, all of that where we don't allow ourselves to be everything we are because it's a job to do this. It beautifully opens up possibilities. I literally would have never considered that such a big topic, because there's a lot you have to change in the way you do. It's actually the point of view you have. And if you change that, and keep taking actions, that's where the beauty can evolve. And that's where things will show up in a greater way that we all haven't considered or tried to figure it out. That's where true magic and beauty can show up in business.
And one of the things, if this helps, is I've got a membership called the Profit Club. It's $28 a month, okay, guys? So you can still join the Profit Club at any time, and you get it's $28 a month for 2 calls with me. And I did one of my Profit Club calls yesterday, and one of the things I was describing is this. And if you're watching, you can see, but if not, this is what I'm doing is I'm putting my hands out in front of me, like in a circular motion. Okay. So I've got them out there, and that's my sphere. So as big as you can go, that's your arms in front. Okay. So that's what I'm doing. Now, if you do that and I go, okay, what I want you to do is put everything in there, in that sphere, because the thing is about autonomy, it can be quite narcissistic as well. And it's like, if you put everything in that sphere, and that's the only choices you have, because that's what you're capable of to do with business. That's it. And now you put everything in that sphere that's about money. That's the only way, because you know how a lot of people have a point of view about how they can make money, right? And it's like, oh, it's from my job, it's from my degree, it's, or even some people have a point of view that it's like, oh, it's going to be from inheritance or whatever. So in that sphere, you only have, that's the ways that you can create revenue streams. That's how you can receive. Okay. Now even do joy. Okay. What do you find joyful for you and your body? So as someone was saying to me about movement of bodies, because I'm always, especially in the last few years, always looking at different movements for my body and seeing if my body enjoys it or not. And if it might for a while, and then it's like, okay, we're done. Let's do something different, etc. Right. So, but if you have, okay, so I don't know, maybe you're a runner, you're a swimmer, you play volleyball, I don't know, whatever it is, so you put that in your sphere, that's in your circle right in front of you. And that's all you have. Okay. That's what you have. Now, you've created your life, a lot of you, to be greater than others. My question is, are you creating it to be as great as what it could be? Now, everything that you've got in that sphere, whatever it can be, it could be relationships, to your body, business, money, whatever, name a topic, joy. Now, nothing else is in there. Now, what I want you to do, it's like almost like on 3, it's like, when dam walls come up, they come down and the water just floods. So on 3, you just go 1, 2, 3, flood. Now what else is possible? What other revenue streams can you receive? It's like, what other possibilities are available for you in business that you haven't even you haven't even knew you desired or deserve or thought about, like beyond your imagination. There is so much that's available. I mean, this week I'm looking at investing in horse business. I know people who invest in horses are going to be like, you're crazy. But I just love that I could invest in horses and be a part of having these beautiful creatures here on the planet. That makes me happy, you know. But so what if you no longer had that sphere that you function from, which is the autonomous reality, and you just let the walls down, those floodgates open, and there's a tsunami of possibilities, a universe of possibilities available to you, not just a world of rightness and wrongness and control and structures and limitation, not the judgment, not the separation, not the competition. Because anywhere that you're in competition with someone, you're doing autonomy. Anywhere that you feel threatened by someone, you're doing autonomy. It's like when you're concerned about what somebody else thinks, autonomy. You are an infinite being. You're an amazing infinite being. And there is so much that's possible for you, for all of us. And if we start receiving, wow. There is a true freedom available.
Yep.
Yeah.
That opening the floodgates of possibilities by not controlling and by allowing others to contribute, that's beautifully explained. Wow.
Yeah. And David, I'm very grateful for you with that too, because I've had, I mean, you know, you're a really good friend of mine, and I also have a great admiration for you as a person, as a being, but also in business and the creativity that you have. I've had some amazing conversations with you, from talking about, you know, tax to revenue streams to new possibilities. And, you know, it's like unraveling different situations in different countries, in different, you know, cultures, etc. Like, I mean, I even remember you and I were riding a camel one day in the Sahara Desert. Most people would probably be chatting about something entirely different. And you and I were talking about the Sharia law in the Middle East and how the business is run, because you did a whole paper on it. And I was like, oh, wow. And I was asking you questions as we're riding this camel across the Sahara Desert. I absolutely loved it. And I'm very grateful, because you and I are doing a Business Done Different class, which is Access Consciousness Tools. And it's a Business Done Different class. We're actually doing it in Riyadh, in Saudi Arabia, in December. And it is available online. You can jump online, or of course you can come live. We would love to see your sweet bodies there in Riyadh in December. So we will have those details in the show notes as well, if you would like to join, you'd like to sign up, or if you've got any questions, etc. And I'm so grateful for what we get to be in the world and what we get to create. So how does it get any better than this? Looks like I've lost David for a second. So I'm going to sign off here and say thank you so much to everybody for being here. And please, 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 please subscribe to this. And we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, Apple. And you know what I would be so grateful for? Could you take a moment and could you do a review? If you could take a moment and do a review, like, you know, 5 stars, whatever you want. And it's like, and just write a little comment and then share this with your friends. I would be really grateful, because for me, you know, I would like more consciousness in the world and more awareness. And I would like everybody to know that there is so much more that's possible than what they're currently choosing. What you're currently choosing is not wrong. And it's also doesn't have to be this controlling place or this place of rightness either. What if we could have more freedom in our world and have more freedom in our business and our money flows and everything? Because, man, this earth, she's asking for it. She's asking for us to be more. So are you willing to be more today? David, you disappeared on us for a little bit, but I think you're back now. So
yeah, there was something with the internet.
Thank you so much for being here. Is there anything else you want to say to the listeners?
Well, I can only inspire to give it a try. Try that. Maybe some freedom and relaxation you can gain. Play with it. You know, don't. If you're hesitant, play with it. with non-significant topics, but get a taste of it. It is beautiful. It is amazing.
So your word cut out a little bit there, and I'm like, I don't know if you're doing like a sex advert now, or are we talking about using a tool?
We're talking about business. We are talking about
business. All right.
Business.
Like, get a taste of it, try it. Even if I'm like, what are we doing now?
Business can be as much fun as good sex. Just saying.
Exactly. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you, David, so much for being here. I'm, like I said, I'm truly, truly grateful, and I'll see you again at our lugar really soon. We can go riding our horses. And fabulous.
Exactly.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Everyone.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please make sure to hit the follow or subscribe button on your favorite listening platform to get notified of new episodes. We read all the reviews, so if there's any topic you would like to hear about, let us know. If you'd like to know more about the tools, information, and classes mentioned in the podcast, head on over to SimoneMilasas.com and follow me on Instagram at Simone Milasas, or the podcast has its very own link on Instagram at Choice, Change, and Action. Don't forget, you can download the show notes, and lastly, have way too much fun today.